Dear delegates and friends of football, thanks for being here and thanks for playing your part in keeping football on the agenda during these challenging and unprecedented times. We are all aware of the damage that this virus has inflicted on our communities, and it reminds us that health comes first. Even before football, health comes first. I would like to thank Soccerex chairman Joe Da Grossa and the entire Soccerex team for welcoming FIFA and allowing me this platform today. I know other colleagues from FIFA have been involved in various discussions and debates during the course of this week. And I hope it's clear to everyone that FIFA is at the service of football. We are fully committed to finding the best solutions to keep football alive through these difficult times. This year brought a central, unifying challenge for all of us in combating the pandemic. But it also brought other challenges that test our resolve in different ways, namely maintaining good mental health, particularly during these periods of isolation, standing up to the racism and discrimination we have seen re-emerging in society and shamefully also in football, adapting our operations to meet the needs of different stakeholder groups, whether players, fans, broadcasters, or commercial partners, rethinking the very concept of football as a live spectacle. 2020 has been an incredibly challenging year. And it is very encouraging that events such as Soccerex continue to bring the most important voices in football together to explore the way forward through all the challenges that come our way. The partial return of football across the world provides us with hope. Yes, things are not the same as before, but thanks to the care and attention of many people and the support of health authorities and governments, a restart has happened and is still happening. It gives us some hope that football and life will return to a new normal, in the not too distant future. So, what are we doing at FIFA to support football in these times? Well, we have prepared a COVID relief plan with a global value of $1.5 billion US. $1.5 billion US. This is unprecedented, it is historic, and it certainly has no equal in sport. We have been able to do this because FIFA is in a healthy and solid financial situation. Because in the last 4 years, we have not only been able to multiply by 5 through the 4-year program our investment in football development compared to the past, we have also been able, thanks to our sound and conservative management, to set aside a significant amount of money in our reserves, which was to be there if FIFA faced a crisis. Today, FIFA is not facing a crisis, but football is. That's why it was immediately clear to me that FIFA should be there to help and to assist whenever and wherever we can. That's the principle at heart of this plan. And we know we have the money because in the new FIFA, money doesn't disappear anymore. The money goes where it has to go. It goes to football, and it goes to help football in this particular time of need. We have designed a robust relief program with inbuilt accountability and good governance. The steering committee supervising all this is chaired by Mr. Olli Rehn, former Vice President of the European Commission and current Governor of the Bank of Finland. We will know exactly where the money goes and why it goes where it goes. Everything is fully transparent. And we are well aware that this will not solve all the problems, of course, but it helps. It helps our youth. It helps the amateur game. It helps women's football. It helps those who need support right now. What about the return to football? Well, when it comes to living with the reality of COVID, we need to look at the resources we have. To start with, of course, we want to get back to playing football. We know that we have to work as a team, and you, as well as any other industry, understand that you need to work hand in hand with your governments, with your healthcare officials, so that we can overcome these difficulties. And we need to find the balance between health, football, and all of the commercial considerations that are at stake. This is a job that we have to do all together, you as the football community. We have worked hand in hand with the WHO, the World Health Organization, to develop different protocols to help those who want to get back on the football pitch. We've worked together with the IFAB, the International Football Association Board, to make 5 substitutes available. Why? Because the health of our players is obviously very important. And that's why in this period we also need to ensure that we are bringing all the players around the table. And this is in a very short space of time. We have looked at different guidelines and we've elaborated them about transfers, about contracts of players across the globe. All of this was only possible thanks to the enormous work we did together, thanks to the solidarity and the unity that all stakeholders have showed. The different unions for the players, for the clubs, for the leagues, for the associations, the confederations as well, have all worked together, hand in hand. And FIFA was, of course, a driving force helping to coordinate and support all of this. Now it's also clear that we face another challenge right now, and it is getting fans back into the stadiums to fill the empty seats. Because let's face it, football without spectators is not the same. The desire to get fans back is there from all parties. But of course we need to keep health as our #1 priority, and we look at different protocols that will allow us to return eventually to the spectacle of full stadiums passionately cheering on the 22 players on the pitch. I have faith that the future is bright and that the new normal can even be better than the normal we were used to. New normal, what about new football? Speaking of working to develop this new normal, of course, one major challenge that we will have in the future is the international match calendar. Once again, we need to be looking together in the right direction and asking the right questions. With regard to football, are we ready to do that? For example, are all competitions interesting for the fans? Within FIFA, we've looked at our own competitions, and indeed, we decided to get rid of the Confederations Cup. Why? Well, because it wasn't really hitting the spot for our supporters. We need to admit that. And we need to look forward. And we need to ask our other questions as well. Are there maybe too many competitions? Or maybe not enough competitions? We need to speak about youth football. We need to speak about women's football. We need to ask ourselves, how many games can a top professional footballer play each season? How much rest does a footballer need? How much time do footballers need to get back to full strength between games? Knowing too that if we give them to the players the downtime, it has to be a real downtime so that they can rest and not just have their schedule filled with other activities and matches. So let's discuss these issues. We set the platform. Let's debate together. Let's listen to each other as you are doing at Soccerex. What we need to find is the balance when it comes to the competitiveness in this international match calendar. What do we want to do as football becomes globalized, for example? Do we want to sit with our arms crossed, watching as mere spectators, or do we want to be actors, all of us? Do we want to be actors of change when it comes to football on the global stage? Each and every one of us together. What do we do when it comes to different regulations concerning players' transfers, for example? It's obvious that we need more transparency. We need to be talking about that. And about salaries, salary caps, transfer fee caps, or not. But we need to talk about these topics on a global stage. It is clear that we need to talk, and let's see what kind of a future we can create for our sport through these discussions. Let's discuss, let's debate, let's listen, all of us together. These are important decisions that we will have to take, but these are decisions for the good of football on the world stage, and that is the role, precisely, of FIFA, to think about the role and not only, and the world, and not only about part of it. Let me say a few words about the social role as well of football. We have seen significant changes to our society and how we interact with one another. FIFA and football has obviously a role to play here. I would like to mention the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, with whom we recently signed a Memorandum of Understanding. It is a great achievement, an achievement that only the new FIFA could achieve. With this UN office, we are focusing on three main areas in which this UN office is specialized. The first one is corruption. I say it loud and clear, never again corruption in football. We witnessed it, we saw it, we kicked it out, and we will not let it come back. This has to be clear to everyone. The second one is match fixing. Match fixing is a crime that eats football at the soul of it. It is very difficult to catch match fixers because of the international environment. But together with the UN ODC, we can fight harder against match fixing to make sure the matches are not decided before the beginning of the game. And the third area, which I want to mention, and which is part of this agreement, is an area in which until now we have not shown the spotlight. But honestly, we should have. It is child abuse. I'm advocating for the creation of a new independent entity, jointly organized by governments, intergovernmental organizations, and sports bodies, to receive and investigate abuse cases. Because we must make sure that our children, when they play, when they practice any sport, not just football, are in a safe environment. We, as sports bodies, are trying to do what we can, but let's face it, on our own, we do not have the expertise and the experience to tackle these crimes. We have to admit that. And we have to search for expert partners, committing ourselves fully to this crucial collaboration. And I'm proud that we have found a partner like the UNODC to fight these fights alongside us. I was speaking about debate, about discussion, and here comes also, in my view, the role of Soccerex. Because Soccerex has served a key role in football as a platform for debate about the beautiful game over the past 25 years. I actually had the honor of addressing the European Forum in Manchester some years ago in 2013, when the Football Association was celebrating its 150th anniversary. And as a UEFA General Secretary at that time, I had the opportunity to present the so-called Week of Football concept for national team football. In those 25 years, and driven by the passion of Duncan Revy, together with his wife Rita and business partner Tony Martin, Soccerex has become a truly global football platform. And although Duncan sadly passed away in 2016, we can all be sure he would have been proud not only of Leeds United's return to the Premier League in England this season, the club that was managed by his father, Don, to English League Championship success in 1969 and 74, but also of Soccerex reaching this great milestone. It was Duncan's dream to make Soccerex truly global, and having organized events on 5 continents and in 21 countries, his dream has been far more than achieved. Every Soccerex event is a testament to his legacy and how these events have allowed us to debate, to learn, to connect and to discuss all the matters facing football, not only locally, but indeed internationally. And his dream, which took form in 1996, has great significance today, because football is today becoming truly global. Dear friends, I had the opportunity to speak to the 211 FIFA member associations last week at the occasion of the 70th FIFA Congress, the first Congress held virtually. During my address, I also presented, of course, my vision for the future, to make football truly global, and to make sure that the playing field is more level than today. We can all see that the gap between the elite and the rest is getting bigger and bigger. We need to operate and to work in order to reduce that gap. Not, of course, by bringing anyone down. On the contrary, by raising everyone up. Working together, our objective should be to have at least 50 national teams with a realistic chance one day to lift the World Cup. 50, not 5 or 10, 50. 50 countries in the world. The same for club football. We must develop the game all over the world to make sure that one day there are 50 clubs around the world who really have a shot at being the best in the world. Not only 10 or 15, 50. This must be our objective. In FIFA, we live by our actions, speaking louder than our words. We live by working, by debating, by exchanging, by reinforcing our forward development program, by looking at the laws of the game, by looking at VAR, video assistant refereeing, and by making it stronger, and by reinforcing our competitions, such as the new global club competition, the new Club World Cup if you want. This competition will boost club football all over the world, and we believe firmly in it. So this is how FIFA wants to shape the football of the future, by modernizing, by being inclusive, by continuing to improve, by continuing to make football better. And the key is to do this everywhere in the world. And we can do this only by working together with all football stakeholders to shape the future of a truly global game. Because what I said to the 211 FIFA members associations last week, together we will win. So thank you very much for having listened until now. I hope it was interesting. There are many more topics that we can discuss about and that we will discuss about in future meetings. Allow me to mention one more, which is women's football. Following the success of the World Cup, Women's World Cup last year in France, women's football will capture the world. We are sure about that, and we are investing in that, but that is a topic for a separate discussion. So thanks again. I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much, and in particular, stay healthy. Bye.